sheeple, lazy and evil. For years I've watched y'all allow Donald Trump turn you to crazy people. Where's that freedom eagle when you must need him?
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. And this is the juiciest of real estate. This is lakeside property. Bully Ray goes on Busted Open Radio and says that he would have liked to hear Jon Moxley apologize to the fans for going away to rehab. Oh my word, you know the bricks and bottles came from every orifice of the internet, and I just been smiling all day. Even though I've been smiling all day, man. I had a good time. Had a good time with this one. So, all right, so we got some audio. I'm gonna play the audio so people can hear it. I want people to actually hear this thing in context of what he actually said. It's about 2 minutes, and I'll come back to you on the other side.
I'd like to have heard just a little bit of accountability from Jon. I understand the whole demons thing, and we always use the word demons as a creative word to get around the real issues, whether it's an alcohol issue, whether it's a drug issue. In Tommy's case, it's an eating issue. Everybody has some kind of demon that they have to get around. So, okay, we have our demons. These demons got the best of Jon for a time period where he had to step away from AEW. I would have liked to have heard him say a bit of an apology to the AEW fans. You don't have to apologize to the boys, even though the boys do count on you. But any one of those guys and gals could have the same problems that you did. And trust me, I came up in an era where a slew of men and women had their demons. The fans expect a little bit more from you. Like, what about the fans that bought tickets to see AEW and Jon Moxley while Jon was away taking care of his problems? And I'm very happy that he left and took care of his problem. And he looked incredibly healthy last night. He looked great
last night.
And I loved everything that he said. I just would have loved to have heard a little bit of accountability. And I don't know if I'm sorry is necessarily the right word, but maybe endear yourself a little bit to the crowd.
Bully Ray was really stressing accountability here, wanting Jon Moxley to take some accountability for what took place. In other words, his history of alcoholism, wanting Jon Moxley to say, hey, look, all of you guys who bought a ticket and expected me to see me there, and I wasn't there because I had this problem. Yeah, I'm going to make it up to you guys. You don't have to apologize. Don't have to grovel. But just acknowledge that people missed you. You know, that people paid money, maybe in advance, to see you. Maybe they bought a ticket, months before, and you weren't going to be there. And alcoholism is 100% your own fault. You choose to drink. You choose how much you drink. I get it. Alcoholism is a problem. So that's, the counterpoint to that is, hey, maybe he couldn't control it. That's why he ended up in rehab, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, when I made my earlier video on Jon Moxley, I talked about this. It was his behavior, what he was doing, that led to the alcoholism. It was his history of doing drugs and working in matches where he gets stabbed in the head. And he's blading all the time and beating himself up. He put himself in that position. That being said, I don't think he owes the fans an apology. Card is always subject to change. I don't think he owes the fans an apology. I do understand what Bully Ray is saying. And it wasn't until he said it that it made me think. I love provocative takes like this. I just do. So Bully Ray was talking about he wants to hear some accountability. And I went, and I didn't go back and listen to the promo again. But I thought about the promo. And when you talk about the promo, as Bully Ray talked about it, and as I listened to it again. I was about to call him Dean Ambrose. John Moxley talked about a black cloud following him around, almost as if it was whispering to him. Right? So what that tells me is that he kind of saw this as an external force, something beyond himself that was constantly screwing with him and messing with him and pushing him, and at the same time, it's like you are the one drinking. Like it's not like a black cloud forced you to drink. You was drinking on your own. And that's part of the illness. That's part of the sickness. And who knows how long that's been going on. But I get what, Bully Ray is saying as far as you're externalizing the whole thing too much by saying, my demons. Everybody has my demons. But ultimately, you are responsible for your own behavior. So I guess that's what Bully Ray was looking for, was for John Moxley to take responsibility for his own behavior and not to blame the demons, but to blame himself and say, hey, I took myself off the roster all this time. I'm the one who, drank myself into rehab. I did all this bad stuff. I'm changing, I'm not going to do it again, yada, yada, yada. Maybe that's what Bully Ray is talking about. I'm not sure if that would have been the right way to go, but it really would have been nice for him to say that. Because then maybe would have told people or taught people that fighting against alcoholism is something that they can do. It's an active thing, it's not a passive thing. It's something you have to actively do. That you actively drink, you have to actively not drink. You can't passively not drink. You have to actively not drink. As opposed to somebody who's not an alcoholic where they can just passively not drink. You have to actively avoid drinking alcohol. And sometimes actively avoid even being around alcohol. So it's a different process. Just like, when people choose to drink, it's always going to hit to a certain point where you may say the alcohol is taking over. Because you're so drunk, you're so inebriated, you're not thinking anymore. I can respect that it gets to a point like that, but I think that what Bully Ray was looking for was John Moxley to take more, this is my fault, my bad kind of approach to it. Not a groveling, sniveling apology, but more of a, my bad, y'all, or I fucked up, I dropped the ball, I had too much fun, Maybe that was the kind of thing Bully Ray was looking for. And as a man, I don't see a problem with asking a guy to take responsibility for his own behavior. So I get that. But man, the timing. And boy, did he get flamed. So let's get right into that, because people have just been all over Bully Ray all day long. It has been an absolute travesty. Man alive. Let's have some fun. Let's go have fun, y'all. All right. Bully Ray is the reason wrestlers of his generation never got help. He thinks a person should apologize for being brave enough to seek the help they need to not die from substance abuse. Fuck that guy. Look, this is overly emotional. He didn't say that. In fact, he actually said he's glad John Moxley went and got help. What he's saying is there were paying customers who missed out on John Moxley's presence. They bought into the AEW brand expecting to see John Moxley, and then John Moxley took himself out of the rotation by going to rehab, and he had to go to rehab because of his own behavior. That's all Bully Ray was saying, is that if you bought a ticket to see John Moxley, the reason you didn't get to see John Moxley is because of John Moxley, not because of alcoholism. It's not alcoholism's fault John Moxley was drinking. It's John Moxley being a drunk is why John Moxley was drinking. And John Moxley was drinking because John Moxley likes to drink. Now we hope and pray that he doesn't like to drink anymore. That's the thing. John Moxley recognized he needed help and got it and has come back stronger and with fire. He doesn't owe a thing to anyone, least of all Bully Ray. Hey, Bully Ray, you want to talk about accountability? How about checking your quote-unquote brother, Devon, who is busy trying to pick me up when I was a brand new, emotionally fucked up widow, and he was, oh yeah, married. Oops. I don't know where that came from. Where did that come from? Is it a white woman? That's all I want to know is if it's a white woman. Is it a white woman? Them damn white women's. Them damn white women's. That's all I want to know. Oh, shit. It's gone. I guess whoever just deleted their comment. Let's see. Bully Ray should issue an apology for trying to stay relevant at Moxley's expense. Ooh. Can we officially call Bully Ray the Eric Cartman of wrestling? That's hilarious. That's great. Bully Ray trying to say Mox should have apologized to the fans last night. All I can say is GFY, Bully Ray. I didn't mispronounce that. This is the most Bully Ray response ever, even for Bully Ray. Bully Ray, the nicest bully I ever heard speak. Bully Ray needs to shut his fucking mouth. Bro needed help and went to get it. Why the fuck does he need to apologize to us? I think he had kind of explained it. And I think people are mostly responding to the headline and not really to the context. That's why I played the audio. He's saying that, there are people, because I think Jon Moxley was scheduled for a ladder match or something like that the week he took himself, or was it a tournament match? And it was one of the two. No, I think he wrestled in the ladder match. He was supposed to be in a tournament. So people bought tickets expecting to see Jon Moxley. That's all Bully Ray is saying. Is always like, hey, people expected to see you. You kind of owe those people an apology. You screwed them out of money. If they was coming specifically to see you. That's all he's saying. But again, it's a bit much. It's a stretch. Because that would mean that everybody who's ever suffered an injury, it's, you owe the fans an apology for suffering an injury. It's like, no. Even though, an injury and being an alcoholic is not nearly the same thing, it kind of has the same effect. When a person buys a ticket, you never know who's going to not show up and who's going to be there. Like, it's not fair for you to expect people to offer apologies, even though sometimes wrestlers do. Sometimes wrestlers do offer apologies if they won't be there. And they apologize for, oh, hey, I'm sorry, guys, I caught COVID. I won't be able to be there, yada, yada, yada. I get it. Maybe that's what Bully Ray was looking for. I don't know. But these people are mad. And they won't take it anymore. They're tired of Bully Ray shit. I can tell you that, man. There's so much fuck Bully Ray. There's just so many of these. Bully Ray, Mox should apologize to fans for being drunk. Me, apologize for that bullshit Aces and Eights storyline first, dickhead. One of the funniest thing is he's still living off of it. That's where the Bully Ray persona was born. Was in that Aces and Eights storyline. Oh, good Lord. Bully Ray a joke. He's not anywhere near the levels of Jon Moxley. Who does he think he is telling Moxley how he should handle his recovery? Everyone is happy he's back, and Bully's just being negative. Bully couldn't lace Moxley's boots, let alone carry his bags. My God. What do these people think Jon Moxley is? I'm sorry. I know that, some people are very young and they're kind of prisoners of the moment. But it doesn't matter what you think about Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley made it to the pinnacle as a solo act. That's something. The Dudley Boys are legit one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And somebody who was carrying the heavy lifting of that tag team was Bully Ray. All the promo work, the character stuff that he was doing. In both ECW and WWF and in TNA. How he reinvented himself as Bully Ray to become a world champion in TNA. That guy is something else. I mean, let's not get too over the, let's not go too far. So, he can't carry Moxley's bags. It's like, come on. Let's chill out here. Okay, let's calm down. Let's calm down. I think Moxley is a pretty big star for this era. But is he a bigger star than the Dudley Boys? Well, he's bigger. He's a bigger star than Bully Ray solo, I guess. Okay. But, He was a tag team wrestler for most of his career. All right, let's move on. I have a source that says Bully Ray, a.k.a. Bubba Ray Dudley, got into a fight in the middle of a Golden Corral over some butterfly shrimp and rolls. Don't fact check me. It's true. I said sources, Scott Steiner, because he's fat. That shit gave me a headache. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord, bro. Okay, Bully Ray. Your apology accountability take on Jon Moxley? With all due respect, shut the fuck up. You, of all people, have no room to tell anyone how to live their lives. And for your information, FYI, Mox didn't let us down. He made us damn proud. Bully Ray is trending, and fuck you, it's Bully Ray. Frankly, Jon Moxley should apologize to wrestling fans for perpetuating that he's somehow a professional wrestler and not some outlaw mud show light tube clown. This dude just said he took the opportunity to chick shots at both of them. Fuck both of them, huh? Oh my word. I like it. Let's see. Can you imagine how uncomfortable it would have been if Mox said something like, "It's my fault," or "I'm sorry for leaving to get help from my addiction"? Aside from more reasons to object to Bully Ray's take, there's also reasons to object purely on what makes good TV. How uncomfortable. The whole shit is uncomfortable. He was in there talking about alcoholism. That's why I said, about the therapy sessions, it was uncomfortable sitting here listening to a grown man talk about his personal stuff. Yeah, I get it. We started blending reality with wrestling and, making people believe that it's real and all that kind of stuff. I get it. At the same time, though, wrestling is fiction. I was, I was kind of fucking with somebody. I was just trolling. But I was like, could you imagine somebody on like a Game of Thrones or something like that? Because a guy got drunk last season, so he wasn't on the show. He had to stop the whole show, do a monologue about how, hey, I'm sorry I missed last season, but I was in rehab. That booger sugar, it was too much for me. I had my demons. It's like, no, you just get back on the show and, you do your thing. You fit right back in. You plug the character back in. You say, I'm back. It is what it is. Now, wrestling is a little bit different. So we expect it to be different. But at the same time, just because having this conversation is uncomfortable, and you can admit your own weaknesses. That's part of the strength of going to rehab, is having to admit that you had a problem, So why would it have been uncomfortable? I don't get it. Let's see. Jon Moxley doesn't owe anybody anything. The guy who was heckling him in the crowd should be the one apologizing. But Bully Ray isn't going to mention that, is he? Probably not, because I didn't know what the guy said until just a couple of minutes ago. As a man who struggled with alcohol, these idiots really fucking anger me. Bully Ray can fuck off. Oh boy. Bully Ray pulls fans aside after shows for booing the people they're supposed to boo. Also, Bully Ray, wrestlers should apologize for wanting to take care of themselves, actually. I think that we're this is crazy. Bully Ray saying that Moxley should have issued an apology to the fans for quote unquote letting us down is the worst take I have ever heard. I don't know if it's the worst take you ever heard. Come on. He said that, letting us down? Bully Ray is straight up stupid. He did us right by getting himself at the hell he needed. Screw Bully Ray. No wonder nobody like him. Yeah, well, that's crazy. Apology for what? He knew he had a problem and went to rehab. What WTF does Bully Ray want? An Oprah Winfrey interview with John talking about his problems? What do you think that promo was? What do you think that promo was? That was a Dr. Phil segment with cursing in it and ropes and a canvas. Bully Ray snorting coke with Tony Khan. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that shit's great. Car is subject to change, Bully Ray. I get what he's implying, but Moxley didn't owe us an apology, and he was very sincere with his words. That's fine with me. Hey, Bully Ray. We have the family of Amy Winehouse on the line. They like to speak with you. I don't know. I think maybe, and this is to be honest, if a lot of people took accountability for their issues, they might be able to help themselves and pull themselves out of it. You know, Amy Winehouse was a very sad case, though. Very sad. She had a great voice, too. That's very sad. Bully Ray is on the wrong side of this one for sure. No need for Moxley to apologize to anyone for recognizing he was an alcoholic and taking steps to change that. Okay. Bubba Ray / Bully Ray has said one of the shittiest takes ever. John Moxley doesn't owe anyone an apology after last night's Dynamite episode. What a fucking obnoxious mark this guy is. I wish someone would shut his bitter ass up. I didn't hear anything bitter. I didn't hear any bitterness out of him. Imagine this. If you're sick of listening to Bully Ray dig for heat, check out the Wrestle Talk TV. It's my favorite podcast. Great AEW and WWE takes without yelling snowflakes and heat into the microphone every 5 minutes. No, but I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of SJW, limp-wristed, can't really hold a pencil anymore, stack of dimes for a neck, kind of dirty face incels. I'm pretty sure all of that stuff still going on around there. Wait a minute. I'm not going to read that because it has accusations in it. I don't know what's going on. Well, add Bully Ray to the growing list of ECW originals that can go fuck themselves. They're from ECW. They're not PG. They're not PG-13. They're not fake edgy boys. ECW was the Lion's Den. That's where they would chant, "You're a crack whore," at one of the female wrestlers. And it was, "You're a slut." They would chant, "Suck my dick," at these chicks. And there was no crying to the networks and going on Twitter and complaining about it. If they said half the shit to Britt Baker that they said to Francine, she would cry in a corner and have her thumb in her mouth. There's just no way. The ECW fan base, the legit hardcore fan base, not these bullshit weirdos that have kind of usurped the hardcore fan base. All of you, and I'm going to be honest, it's the Ring of Honor weirdos. Okay, it's not the real ECW fan base. It's these Ring of Honor Philadelphia weirdos, right? Because there's ECW Philadelphia, and then there's Ring of Honor Philadelphia. And it's the Ring of Honor Philadelphia weirdos that's around here these days. A lot of the ECW dudes are probably in their late 40s, early 50s. Don't watch this shit no more. Okay, so I'm almost guessing a real ECW crowd would eat all of these motherfuckers alive. And definitely would have been booing Adam Page out the fucking building. Because remember, ECW hated baby faces. Tommy Dreamer came in there was a white meat baby face. Got booed out of the fucking building. Chris Jericho too. They hated white meat baby faces. That was the original crowd that hated white meat baby faces, that booed Santa Claus and all that kind of shit. Like those crowds were nuts. And they were legit. These people nowadays are trying to have that energy, but as soon as some shit happens, they fold. GCW is the same way. I like GCW a little bit more than I did a couple of years ago when I first heard of it, but there's nothing. I saw Brett Lauderdale copping pleas on Twitter because somebody said, "Oh, some guy yelled something at Dark Sheik and it was transphobic and nobody did anything." And Brett Lauderdale was on Twitter like, "Please don't generalize us. This is not what our show is about." I'm like, come on. Could you imagine Paul Heyman coming out there and apologizing for something the ECW crowd was chanting? He would have just expected you to suck it up and realize they're just trying to be part of the show and move the fuck on. Like you want to have that you want to have that jungle-based mentality. You want that feel of the old ECW, but you ain't ready for it. No, you're not ready for it at all. You just want to be slightly more edgy than PG WWE. You just want to WWE. You just want to hear shit occasionally. You know, you ain't ready for the how real ECW was. That shit was ugly. And it got ugly quite often. Let's get back to the peanut gallery. Bully Ray is the same person who openly admits he physically fought fans. He also approached an ROH fan for heckling a heel. He is a hypocrite who needs to apologize. Moxley did what was best for him, and I'm happy he went to rehab to get better. I was on. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Let's see. Any fan of Jon Moxley knows that he does not owe any of them an apology for taking care of himself and his family before his career. Guys like Bully Ray wouldn't get it because he's never been through it. And that's why people like him are the real sellouts. You think this guy ain't never had a problem? He even said he had his own bull problems. You know, I'm sure they all did. You think, here's the crazy thing. Again, going back to ECW, you know how many friends he probably had that died from, pills and alcohol? Like, if you think watching an old 1980s, 1990s, early 1990s WWF show with a bunch of dead people on it, you think that's bad? Go watch some early ECW. I'm telling you, most of the roster is dead. It's not good. And I'm talking about in the mid era. A lot of those dudes are sick and or dead right now because of the culture that ECW had around it. And a lot of it was because of the fluorescent light tubes and all that kind of shit. Well, I think the thumbtacks and the fire and all that shit. Not the fluorescent light tubes. I don't think they were doing that yet. There's a reason why Bully Ray was a mid-carder. It's because he's mid and always will be. Fuck off with your bad takes, Bully Ray. Oh, man. Bully Ray needs to shut the fuck up. Some people just keeping it simple. Anything having to do with wrestling, literally anything, Bully Ray comes out with an absolutely terrible take and makes the situation about him. Oh, boy. Yikes. These people are angry. They're some angry folks. Has anyone noticed mid-carders who thought they were more important than they were, Bully Ray, Honky Tonk Man, Disco Inferno, feel the need to express their opinion on everything to try to keep themselves relevant? Well, I watch AEW and I hear mid-carders like Cody and CM Punk always talking about shit. They ain't got nothing. They don't know what they're talking about. So, I shouldn't say that CM Punk was a mid-carder. That's wrong. I didn't mean that. Sorry, don't downvote my video. Sir, Jon Moxley, you don't owe anyone an apology, not for one single thing. Like so many others, I am so proud of you for what you did for yourself. You look amazing, so healthy and fit. I can't wait to see you wrestler tomorrow night. Bully Ray can take a seat and shut it. Take a seat. Sir Jon Moxley. Probably the first time he's ever been called sir, ever. Why does Moxley have to apologize to the wrestling fan base? He is human just like the rest of us and makes mistakes. He owes me nothing and no apologies. I see that Bully Ray lives up to his name. That is all. He's bullying Jon Moxley. He's bullying him. He's a bully. I don't know why Bully Ray would want an apology from Mox, but it shows a bad grasp of who Mox is. Moxley apologizes for anything flies in the face of the character he portrays. Mox, the character, is very bullheaded, no excuses, and no regrets type of person. Yeah, but he has to grow at some point. There is, and this is a very good point here, but you have to take into account that you have characters who have that balls out, let's go do it. But there is something interesting in saying, okay, that didn't work. I have to change certain things about myself because that goes down a dangerous path. That leads down a wrong path. You do have to reconsider. You do have to not be so bullheaded. You do have to understand that you have weaknesses. You do have to understand that certain things are going to get the better of you and certain mountains need to be climbed different from others. if you're going to be, basically a blind bull just running around, don't be surprised when you get slaughtered. See, Bully Ray is just a shitty person who will say more and more shitty things so he can get more people to listen to his shitty radio show. Oh boy, this is nuts. This is crazy. Oh man, y'all favorite podcaster Jason Solomon, he's also commenting on this. I'm not gonna read his comment because it's kind of milquetoast, and it's not really all that fun. So let me see if I understand this. Bully Ray doesn't owe anyone an apology for bullying a fan in the locker room when he heckled his girlfriend, but Moxley owes us an apology for trying to get his life in order. Okay then. Bully Ray thinks that Jon Moxley should apologize for telling a fan last night to get the fuck out of the building when the fan was trashing Jon for his drug problems. Bully Ray needs to apologize for having ROH going belly up because of him. Oh, that's a stiff shot. And somebody says, worst wrestling take I've seen in some time. Jon Moxley being healthy is literally the only thing that matters here. People can take time off to heal, rest, recover, be with their family, and none of them owes any fan an apology. Mox is the goddamn best. Bully Ray is a joke. Oh man. This is... Considering how many of his co-workers became addicts, especially the ones who died without even trying to get the help they needed, Bully Ray should just shut the fuck up and be grateful things have changed. Okay. I agree that he probably should understand, be a little bit more understanding, a little bit more empathetic. But I don't know if we should be telling him to shut the fuck up. I grew up around addiction and mental illness. What Jon Moxley said got me very emotional, and I felt all of it. With that said, yes, what Bully Ray said pisses me off. I understand he does and says shit to get heat, but that wasn't it. Jon Moxley doesn't owe fans shit. Oh. Well, oh wow, Bully Ray with a hot, steamy shit take on someone focusing on his health. Moxley doesn't owe us shit. We are glad to see him better. I honestly don't know what's more out of touch. Bully or Disco? Well, definitely Disco. I think Disco is far more out of touch. Disco just perpetually lives in 1999. I don't know what's going on with him. But his show is pretty cool in clips. I've never seen that and listened to the whole hour, but clips, yes, absolutely. Bully Ray, shut the fuck up! You do nothing but perpetuate the, quote, old head mentality while also having dumbass takes every time you open your fucking mouth. Moxley doesn't owe the fans a damn apology because prior to leaving, he still performed while battling his demons. My demons! Okay. I really can't go one goddamn day without someone having a bad take, can I? I usually give Bully Ray the benefit of the doubt, but bruh, Jon Moxley doesn't owe anybody an apology. And he took enough accountability by going to rehab. Sure, that's a good point. That's a good take. Him going to rehab is taking some accountability. But there were still, paying fans who, hey, I'm going to be at the show. Jon Moxley's going to be there. Oh, wait a minute. He's not going to be there. No good. No good. And I'm pretty sure that there's going to be people who want to say, cars subject to change. And again, we've already been over that. I get it, but still. Jon Moxley coming back from rehab sober and looking better than ever should be applauded, not dissected and reviewed. What Bully Ray did and said about Mox is in poor taste. This is real life and shouldn't be used as a tool to get heat. Shit is bogus. Shame on him. If it's on television, it should be reviewed. I'm sorry. Unless it's a funeral. Like, I would never review like a tribute show, like the Owen Hart or Benoit or Eddie Guerrero tribute shows. Because, it's literally people working as they are, people have died. But if you gonna stand in the middle of the ring and cut a promo about, give a therapy session is what it was, then yeah, it's just like every other wrestling promo. Come on. Come on. Bully Ray, however, owes me an apology. I was in Chicago at the show in 2017 when he announced his retirement, and yet had to watch him in the ring for several more years. He ain't going nowhere. He's trying to get back in the ring. He's still trying to get back in the ring. That man ain't going nowhere. So this one's pretty good. I'm not going to be doing this for too much longer. I'm probably going to get to about, I don't know, but maybe 40 minutes, maybe. Let's try that. Bully Ray can eat shit. Jon Moxley doesn't owe us an apology. He didn't owe us an explanation for why he was gone. But he chose to be honest, and God knows plenty of us out here benefited from seeing someone like him come out and say he needed help. He doesn't owe us an apology. He didn't even say what he needed help for. Did you notice that? He never mentioned alcohol once. He assumed everybody knew. He never said, my name is Jon Moxley and I'm a drunk. It's like, no, he didn't say that at all. He kind of hinted at it at the end, like the only thing I drink is blood. But he just kept saying, my demons, the demons, black cloud following me. But, maybe that was for his own mental health, that he just didn't want to feel like going out there and screaming about how he's an alcoholic. But I'm cool with what took place. I just feel like we need fewer of those segments. Tony, Mox, and AEW were 100% upfront with what was going on. They let fans know from the start what happened. Fans in December didn't buy tickets to see Moxley since they didn't go on sale until after Mox left. Bully Ray is a total shithead. Moxley doesn't owe anyone anything. Bully Ray is a washed-up, quote-unquote, entertainer who's coasting on the newfound success of a meme he wasn't intelligent enough to start. Because Bully Ray, the quote-unquote wrestler, hasn't been relevant in over a decade. This is wild. And I say Moxley should punch Bully Ray in the fucking face the next time he sees him for saying this stupid shit. Ooh. Oh boy. If Bully Ray feels like Moxley owes fans an apology for letting them down, I like to have one from Bleacher Report because I watched a lot of his singles matches in TNA. Talk about letdowns. Bully Ray is out of pocket. Moxley doesn't owe me shit. He took the time to get himself right for himself, his daughter, his wife, the rest of his family. I'm glad he's feeling great. But owing me as a fan an apology, no the fuck he doesn't. Okay. I think it's pretty unanimous that he doesn't owe anybody an apology. I don't think anybody's kind of disagreeing with that. Oh, this is a great one right here. Jon Moxley has been battling his demons since he was a teenager. He's not making stuff up to get heat. A lot of it is real life shit he's dealt with. Besides, Bully Ray called a fan a faggot on camera, so he has no room to talk about anybody. Oh yes, he called a man a faggot. This was in like 1996. This was a long time ago. It wasn't like it was last week or something. And then, so what? So what? You can't be sensitive and tough at the same time. You got to make up your mind. Bully Ray making a fool of himself as per the usual. Why should Jon Moxley have to apologize for fans for going to rehab? Clueless. Utterly clueless. A period of silence from him, preferably permanent, would be very welcome. Permanent. Do you want to nullify to a permanent end? Bully Ray? Is that what you want? Normally, I agree with most takes Bully Ray has on things. His take on Moxley's rehab and recovery, not so much. Okay. Here's what I have to say to Bully Ray after his comments about Jon Moxley having to apologize to the fans. Seriously, don't be a bully. Oh my word. Okay. All right. I think we've got a lot out of this. I think we got a lot of mileage out of this thing, man. But it did not end there. I barely scratched the surface of how crazy this thing was. And Bully Ray, he was not correct, but I understood what he was trying to do. I understood what he was trying to say, and I understood how it could even come across without it being embarrassing or anything like that. But it was the wrong place and the wrong time to make these statements. You just don't right after the guy comes back say like, "Oh yes, you need to apologize." But the weird thing is when CM Punk did his therapy session when he first came back, he did apologize. If you guys felt that I let you down when I did what I had to do, I'm sorry. And I guess that's what they were expecting from Jon Moxley was a little contrition. But that isn't what Jon Moxley is. That's not who he is. He's always been sort of open about the problems that he's had. And I did the book, which was on the library. I did. We talked about, well, I don't think we talked about his drug abuse in that book. I don't think I did. I think I just talked about the wrestling part. But he did talk about, hey, sometimes he would have a cocktail that would lead to one or two, and then he'd wake up with a strange girl, and they're snorting Klonopins, and he wouldn't know what day it was. And this was years ago. I'm talking probably early 20s, and he's probably his mid 30s now. So he's got years of mileage on that body of doing this kind of stuff, and has been very open with it. He hasn't been running away from it, hasn't been shy about it. He didn't mention it in this promo, but it was never like, it wasn't a secret what happened. AEW definitely made it public that he was going to rehab. But ultimately, I don't think Bully Ray's take was so bad that we have to scream and yell about it. I just think that it was kind of silly. It was a pointless criticism, I think. It was like, yeah, I think he should have apologized to the audience for it. I'm like, okay, I can see why you would think that, but that's not what I was thinking. I wouldn't think that he should apologize to the fans. I was thinking maybe he needs to make up for lost time and jump back into the ring with both feet and be as hot and as good as ever. And, trying to be an inspirational character. That's not really who Jon Moxley is. He's not out here trying to be an inspiration. At least I don't think so. All in all, I think the best way to handle this kind of stuff is to take a very simple situation. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. And then it's almost like it's built-in sympathy too. So I really like the concept of whether you know, you know, you don't know, you don't know, you don't need to know. It's not relevant. If it doesn't matter to the character, it's like sometimes it might be useful, like when Hangman talked about, going off to have the baby. There's a way you could have ingratiated that story into the character that would have made sense. Just like you could have done the same thing here with Jon Moxley, brought him back in character in a way that made sense. And I think that's probably what we should have done. We should have focused more on the character and not on him walking around and doing his version of Dr. Phil. This video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.